Hey ADD family, trying to get a still frame of something else for the thumbnail, maybe to catch the dog. Anywho, hello. So, today I'm going to discuss the video that I intended on putting up, talking about where I was naked at Club lavela in Panama City on spring break. So, anywho, today we were originally going to set out to go shoot off our guns. My wife bought me a shotgun like 6 months ago and I haven't gotten to use it yet. And she's bought 2 9s recently as well. So we were sought out to go shoot them off, and things got late. I had to get my brakes done this morning. That threw me off. We went out to eat and it took forever at Chili's. So we're going to wait till next weekend. But next Saturday is my wife's birthday, and like I said, we're going to go shoot off our guns for the first time, and I'll try to make a video about it. I'll at least, do a short video of me shooting the shotgun. But anywho, my phone keeps falling and ruining it the last couple videos because I got it wedged in this fence to where I can, prop the phone up and not hold it in my hand the whole time and talk. So, as I discussed before, my third time being naked in public was maybe not as bad per se as as fighting in jail, but nevertheless maybe more embarrassing. So, anyways, let me just tell you what I'm doing here anyways. If you've kept up with me, you know I've got a sick knife collection. I mean, absolutely sick. And here's these things that are on the knife. It makes they're Batman symbols, but they're throwing stars, and they're magnetic, and they stick to this knife, right? I had this badass one that I gave to Ryan Leone. It was a necklace like this, Chinese throwing stars. Just not part of the video, but pretty damn cool. So we're gonna lunge these at trees while we talk. So, anywho, as I discussed, this was back when before I even turned 20, so let's bring it back. So, I think I was 19, 20, possibly 21, but not likely, more likely 19 or 20. And it wasn't my spring break, but my friend Dan, it was his spring break, right? So I went with him, and I was like a couple of years older than Dan. I had met Dan when we were in high school. He heard that I was selling weed, so I became his weed man. That's how me and Dan came about to become friends. So, I go with Dan on his spring break, and we are partying, we're having a good old time, and then we go to Club lavela. And for those that do or don't know, Club lavela is this enormous club, that they have this outdoor pool, right, and this huge area around it that thousands of people can be out there, right? Hundreds of people in the pool and thousands of people around this whole thing. MTV used to do spring breaks down there. If that's how I could describe it to you if you've not been. So imagine like MTV, right? This is the kind of pool parties that go on there during spring break, right? The peak times of the year. So I go with Dan on his spring break. We go down there, we're partying, living it up, having a good life, getting drunk, and we're at lavela, and this chick calls me out, right? So there's people up there dancing. They have a dance contest, right? And girls will call guys that they think they are good looking or whatever. Girls will call guys out, and the guys can decide if they want to go or not, and they'll go out there and shake their shit, right? And dance. And it's the same for girls. Guys will pick the hot chicks, go up there and dance. And so I get picked to dance. This chick picks me, right? And I go out there and I'm shit faced. And I'm dancing and dancing and doing my thing. And my fucking shorts drop, right? And I don't realize it. And so now I'm butt naked in front of like in like half of Cobb County, if you could imagine that, if that makes sense. Like several hundreds of people, say, I couldn't even tell you, spring break for certain high schools, it could have been thousands. There was thousands of people there, right? It's not like just a little deal. Spring break, for those of you who do or not know, like entire states go on spring break, right, and hit the beaches in these places. So like I said, there's thousands of people out there, and I'm dancing out there in front of that many people when my shit falls down. And I'm dancing, and I look down, and then I realize it, and I pull my shorts up, and I try to play it off, and I keep dancing, and then the song stops, right? The radio stops. The literal DJ cut the music, right? And I'm like so fucking embarrassed, right? I'm drunk, but still, even being drunk, I'm still knowing how embarrassing this is, right? I've been sitting here showing my shit in front of all these people, like the worst, most embarrassed, life's most embarrassing moments, right? If you can only imagine, like, caught on TV or some shit, right? Imagine if it would have been like an MTV deal. Totally embarrassing. And I made a fool of myself, and I must have been acting the spaz. And honest to God, I tell you how it is. I don't leave out the good, bad, and the ugly. So the guy says, the DJ Mike guy says, oh, and this guy says something. He said he didn't take his medicine today. He literally said that. No shit. He said that about me. So, like I've said before, you're either laughing or crying. So over that, I was both. Yeah, he actually said that this guy hadn't taken his medicine today in front of all of spring break in Panama City of that year. Totally embarrassing. And like I said, my friend Dan was there, so I have I have collaborating on this. I just talked to Dan here recently, and so if you've kept up with my stories, he was a good friend of mine. A lot of crazy shit transpired in the days of me and Dan being friends together. He was there when I damn near drowned in a cave. He was there then when my pants fell down in front of spring break. There's some other good ones. He's the one that lived next to the famous wrestler, Dusty Rhodes, and all that. Me and Dan had some good times together. Like I said, his parents had a really nice house, and Dan's parents were really laid back, old hippies. So we could do anything and everything over there. So those were some of my best times in those days, and I just wanted to share that one because I put the video out there, and I saw I've got a bunch of likes. I got like 25 views on it, and you can't even hear me talking. So I wanted to straighten that one out. I have some other coincidences coming. Like I've said all along, it wasn't until recently that I actually even started thinking about how many coincidences really were in my life. Like, I'm still, to this day, let me give you, for instance, yesterday I'm driving, I'm at work, and I think about another coincidence. I said, oh shit, I used to, when I lived in the place that I said in Little Mexico, in Gangland in Sandy Springs, when I lived there, I worked for a company, and we happened to be doing a unit in my apartment complex, right? So the company I was working for, like I said, I was working for one of my neighbors, basically. And, I just thought that was unreal. I went home for lunch. It was literally like two buildings away from my house. I could walk from my front door to the job. So I was there for a couple of weeks working, and like I said, I was working right next door to my house, basically. But I worked for a company, and I took their van, right? So the bitch part about it all is, so I'd have to go to the office at 7 in the morning and go to a meeting and pick up my van, come all the way back to my house, work my 8, 10 hours, whatever. Then right there at my house, have to drive all the way back to Howell Mill, have to go all the way back into Atlanta to get my truck every day. So, that was like tormenting. And there were a lot of jobs like that. I was literally because like I said, I lived literally right off off of 285, right off the highway. Literally, like, less 50 yards was my front door to the highway if you walked, maybe less, right? So I'm literally passing my house, like, all the time, like several days a week. When I get off work at 3, 4, 5 o'clock, I gotta pass my house on the highway to go all the way 45 minutes away to get my vehicle to go back home. Used to piss me off, They wouldn't never let me keep the truck at home and all that kind of stupid bullshit. But like I said, that was another crazy coincidence. They're on small and big, on large scales. So let me see if I can let you see me throw one of these stars. We're gonna throw one of these Batmans. Let me see, where can we go? Oh, I hope I don't miss it. Well, I missed the tree, so now I'm going to retrieve my throwing star. But I got to at least tell you guys the dancing in Club Lavela on spring break, my pants falling down in front of everybody. So humiliating. Think how embarrassing that would be. Like I said, being up 5'5", if I was 6 foot, and African descent, it might not be so embarrassing to show my manlyhood to the world. And you gotta think of spring break, and I'm dancing around top of a pool, so I'm wet too. I'm cold and wet. Do the math. I'll catch you on the next one.